Teaching of Mastery, founded by W. Frederick Keeler, with whom I had the pleasure of studying for a number of years, to whom I am deeply grateful for the many advantages this opportunity afforded me. My sole object in entering this field of endeavor is to carry forth as best I may the many wonderful truths set forth in this teaching. Thus entering the Master's ministry, my humble endeavor shall be to hasten the time when all will realize the oneness of all life and enjoy the kingdom of heaven here and now. The teaching contained in these lessons differs considerably in three distinct principles from the teaching of so-called New Thought school. 1. I do not teach affirmation in the sense as it is generally used in other schools, where it is often used as a dominating means whereby an issue is forced into expression. This always results in a considerable amount of strain and tautness. Undesirable condition is given attention. Consequently, by denial, you place life, vitality, and making it more real, bringing it closer to yourself rather than disposing of it. 3. Visualization. While it has its value on its plane, it does not belong to spiritual healing. It is a form of phenomena and belongs to the second level of mind, the subconscious, while spiritual healing takes place on the third level of mind, the master consciousness. Here you have nothing to do with phenomena, for the spiritual level of mind is freed from the relative world. This is the level of mind that Jesus, the greatest of all metaphysicians, worked in when he was teaching and healing, attending to his Father's business. Let us endeavor to follow in his footsteps, and we shall be blessed accordingly. The attitude of a true student is to contact a subject for the purpose of studying it and become thoroughly acquainted with it, and in this way determine its value. This I ask of you: study these lessons with an open mind, and you will find a very practical teaching. If followed in the proper spirit, definite results will be your reward. My prayer for you, dear fellow traveler on the pathway of life, is that you might be able to see the gleam of light herein contained and have the strength to follow it. James Dodds. The teachings of the Master's ministry. Mastery, the form of intelligence which serves both God and man. The power of thought. Thought as a dynamic or health force. Thought in its fourth or life dimension. The Christianity for on doctrines of man perceive, and he that seeketh find, and will be opened. The law of light, justice, perfect, love and abundance. Behold that love alone teaches. The masterful way is the easiest way. Simplicity is power. Man attracts his own. Whether by love and acceptance or by toil and labor, the choice lies with him. Peace is unto you who accept. The greatest work is accomplished by silent thought in the presence of God, when one endeavors to do unto others whatsoever he would have men do unto him, while knowing and believing that thinking is life and that thought is power. I teach that you can help others only by their consent. Peace is life. To take another's peace is to take his life. God said, all true work is accomplished by the indwelling Master. It is man's province to accept, realize, and joyfully serve. There is one God, and that God is good. Mind defined. What's mind? Some authorities claim mind to be the faculty or thinking creatures feel, think, perceive, desire, and will. But when you come to analyze mind, you find it even more far-reaching than this. Science tells us that there is only one substance in the universe, energy. Energy must then be in all, through all, over all, and under all. Everything must be interpenetrated by this force. Everything must necessarily be directed, related to what is commonly spoken of as a mind. All things, then, must have at least instinctive mind knowing. This knowing is life there. Each person is an individual expression of one substance. The individualized expression called man has many parts. 1. The divine. Spirit. 3. Ego. 4. Soul. 5. Magnetic element. 6. Physical body. Of these 6 constitutes the 7th or mind. To the degree each part is activity during sleep, it is that mind which lies to consciousness. dreams, impulses. It reaches deep down into our being. Generally, one is not that there is such mental activity. The second mind level is called the subconscious mind, the subjective mind, the functional mind, and the suggestional mind, the involuntary mind. These names are all very truly descriptive and refer to this one thing, the one mind division, which lies just beneath our ordinary consciousness. The third level of mind is of the real self. It lies closest to the true being. It is really the divine self linked with the lesser self. It is that mental level upon which the human being senses freedom from all limitations, but is fully cognizant of full manhood and womanhood. It makes self known both in simple and exalted forms. Other names by which the third level is known are the subliminal consciousness, the subliminal mind, the superman, the master mind or the master consciousness or the higher self. The terms the knower, the healer, the seer, the impersonal Christ, and the indwelling master refer to it. Any terms indicating this level of mind are almost always capitalized. Terms of this kind will be found in all the Hebrew, Arabic, Hindu, and Chinese writing and all the ancient literature. But the terms always leave one unvarying characteristic. They always refer to that part of man which is a harmonious combination of the human and the divine nature of man. In this level of mind, we find the silence. The student should fix these different levels clearly and distinctly in his conception. Mind is a conditioned thing. Thinking or ideation is its motion, and thoughts are the product of that motion. I have presented the above so that you will realize more clearly what I mean by mind, and will be able to follow the lessons with great interest and understanding.
Come on.
There is one infinite spirit plus its infinite manifestations. Man is an expression of this infinite spirit and being of it, is it, consciously experiencing itself. There is one music. We know that there are many kinds and forms, yet all are of the one music. It is the same with the spirit. Many levels, many degrees of clearness, many different interpretations or manifestations. Yet there is but one spirit. Lesson number 1. What the silence is. In order to do silent work, it is necessary to have an outline or general idea of just what is meant by the silence. What is it? Many realize that their prayers have not been answered. Consequence of not having accomplished satisfactory results, that metaphysics is a failure.
Nice sunrise today,
Nothing
guys.
can be done with it that is
Bella
worthwhile.
loves it.
Those who are using it are simply chasing bubbles, accomplishing nothing more than dissipation of their forces and laboring under clouds of
She likes
delusion
to
and
find
deceit.
stinky spots to roll.
But this is simply not true.
No.
The silence is indeed very real to those who have been able to find it, to those who have been able in consciousness to still the inward strife, and in so doing find themselves resting in peace, in harmony with their feet firmly placed upon the solid rock of understanding. Here in this place, each one is able to have conscious contact with the spiritual side of life. In reality, the silence is a state of mind, a place in consciousness. It is not something to which you can appeal. It can be best comprehended if you consider it to be a temple, the temple of the Most High, wherein you find God. The temple of itself is not God, but God dwells in this temple. The silence is a state of mind wherein you find that which is eternally new, that which is eternally fresh, fragrant, and life-giving.
Get in.
If you were to compare it with soil, you would call it virgin soil.
We'll get out again
Or
soon.
comparing it to water, it is like a fresh, clear pool wherein you see everything. This state of mind, which is clear, even and clean, is the silence. But as Buddha said, ask not from the silence, for it cannot speak. Do not expect the silence to answer you. It cannot. It is dumb. Current impression of the word work implies either physical or mental action. Now, silent work implies nothing undesirable, nor is it toil or labor. Instead, it means service through loving contact. This service, being unselfish, freely given, brings real joy. You may enter the temple of silence and there do your work. You do your work in the silence. It is not the silence that does the work. All true work is done in the silence. In this
See you guys later.
temple, you meet the healer, the real